Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. I interview dope people that do really, really dope stuff, man. And at the end of Podcast Summit, we had some people that joined my mastermind, and I wanted to give them some exposure and starting the podcast and things of that nature. Somebody that does something dope that has a really, really good story. And I got Kylea here.
I feel like I'm in trouble.
You are? You are? Okay, but introduce yourself first.
Hi, I am Dr. Kylea Woodley-Jones. I'm sorry, am I looking here?
At me.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Kylea Woodley-Jones.
This is going to be so much fun.
I am a full-time teacher. In addition to that, I am a serious crafter, and I have made over $2 million as a crafter.
Whoa.
And yeah, I'm just excited to be here, and I'm in an expansion phase. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
You've made over $2 million in crafting.
Yes.
And you're still a teacher.
Yes, I am retaring. Ooh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I haven't told my boss yet, but I'm retiring this year.
Okay.
Monday.
How long have you been crafting?
I have been crafting for as long as I can remember, but I don't think I really started taking the monetizing part seriously until I wanted extra money for things a little bit later in life.
Got it. So just being a teacher, and you make more in crafting than teaching.
I do.
So why you still teach?
It's comfortable. I'm just being honest. Like, okay, one, is comfortable. Two, I love the kids. Yeah. I don't love everything else, but I love my students. I love being able to impact their lives. I love helping getting their businesses started. Wow. And it really didn't hit me until last year where, someone was like, well, you can still have that impact on a different level.
True.
So just the comfort of it and benefits and insurance, everyone, in my family are entrepreneurs. So I've been the only person that no matter what the economy looks like, my job has been that steady force.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to get uncomfortable.
Are you sure?
No.
No, exactly right. And you've been doing something for a long time, and obviously you love doing what you do. And I actually commend that. The fact that you're saying, I'm making this money on the side, but I love impacting the kids, especially in what's happening in the world and the type of teachers that are teaching these days. Oh my gosh.
That's why it makes it so hard to leave also.
Yeah.
It does. And every year I was teaching business and entrepreneurship for so long. And every year I wanted the kids to see how realistic it was. And I always told them I never wanted to be one of those teachers that was like teaching in theory what you could do. So every single year, which I like really documented over the years, I started a new business.
Yeah.
So they could see me making money in real life.
That's fire.
And
you start a new business every year to show the kids? Well, give me an example.
I did. So like, when I first started teaching entrepreneurship, we're in real estate too. We manage 8 figures in real estate. And I kind of started.
Don't need the job. They cannot talk to you crazy at work.
I love it.
But they can't talk to you crazy.
Oh, they don't talk to me crazy at work. So that was like the biggest freedom. That was the biggest thing for me, which allowed me to focus on my students that much more, right? Mm-hmm. Because if it ever got really bad, I'm like, all right, bye. Yeah. But this has been the longest thing that I've ever had. And stability was very important to me because of my parents and their paths as entrepreneurs, and just seeing so many ugly wins and losses. Felt like more losses at times. But yeah, so for my students, I started a cleaning company, and I was like, okay. Then I went and started pitching myself to a lot of realtors like, hey, can you use us for your move in and move out services? And then we got so good at it. It was like, okay, we want you to clean our houses when we live in them too. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And they're like, oh, I'll pay you. And then those checks became really pretty. So I stepped out of that business, and then that business started operating independently without me in it. And then I'm like, okay, what's next? I started a company called Crown Essence where we were making skincare. Next thing I know, we were doing big private label deals. We were in the Mall of Georgia. We had all this stuff going on.
Wow.
We had an offer from Whole Foods. It just got really crazy. And ultimately, we decided that we didn't want to pursue that too far, but we still sell it on the side. And then crafting. Crafting has just been something I've loved forever. I've been sewing since I was like 3. So I was making stuff for people, T-shirts, Cricut machines, hustling, slinging T-shirts in college to help, pay for things. I was on a cheer scholarship, but I was out of state. So tuition was still like really, really expensive past, the in-state portion they give you. So it was just really, an outlet. We craft through so much. We craft through joy. We craft through pain. And then when people were like, oh, can you do this for me? But I'll pay you. And I'm like, you will? And then, I started some Etsy pages, and the next thing I know, I have like multiple 6-figure Etsy pages and got on Shopify, and then that took off, and I started doing something that's called, well, I know you're familiar with it, but private labeling. Mm-hmm. So I started private labeling for a lot of brands, and one embroidery machine turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4, turned into a big DTF printer, turned into, my husband said, if you don't get all this stuff out of my house, I'm kicking you out. So then we bought a property around the corner from our house. This one about, it's just shy of 7 acres. And I opened up a craft house.
Wow. Mm-hmm. A craft house. It's open for, who comes to the craft house?
Mostly right now, and I have a community, and my community can come to the craft house. And basically I host classes there for them, but I also operate my business still as a crafter and a private labeler as well there.
You're from Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can hear it. Sound like a Philly John.
I've been here for 12 years and I just can't escape it.
Yeah, no, you got the accent for sure.
Congratulations, Eagles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What's your page?
From Craft to Cash.
From Craft to Cash. From Craft to Cash. Got it. Okay. This is super duper dope. I'm so proud of you. I just love the fact that you still teach kids. First off, why you ain't teaching right now?
I took a few days off.
Okay, because you can. Because
I can. I have like literally, I was the perfect attendance person, so I never wanted to miss a day. And just this year, I needed some time.
You made all this stuff?
Yes.
This is hard.
So I do work for a lot of sports teams and businesses, and we have a good time.
Do you still do it yourself, or do you have people that like do it?
All right, don't yell at me. I'm working on it. I'm about to hire somebody full time, but at this point, I'm either outsourcing some of the stuff, like our uniforms and stuff. I do collaborate a lot, but mostly I still make the things myself.
Really? I don't know where you find the time.
Me either.
So actually, you turned me into a superhero because she made this for my daughter, Sarai. This is beautiful.
Thanks.
This is absolutely beautiful. So I actually came home with, somebody gave me something for my wife, some sanitary napkins. Like, they're like, yo, these are like healthy or whatever. So, people drop stuff off here all the time. So I come home with a bag. And my wife was like, my daughter was like, you got me a surprise? I'm like, baby, not for you. But the fact that it comes in a big, beautiful, she's going to hug me so tight.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, she's going to love everything about me.
I was
like,
I hope he's mad this isn't about him.
Oh, no. What? I benefit more.
Yeah.
She's going to love me for a strong 10 minutes, and she's going to forget about it, then, go about her day. But anyway, I'm trying to understand how we make money in the crafting space. Okay, this, for instance, you have Sarai on here. Did you embroider at heart too?
Yes.
Did you find this from somewhere and then just embroider it?
Yes. So I use, I have wholesalers that I use. So at the craft house, I have literally over 1,000 of, not necessarily that one, but I have 1,000 of these things that are called Cubbies stocked, right?
This is a Cubbies stock?
They're called Cubbies.
This is a Cubby?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have 50 different varieties, anything from dinosaurs to chickens to bulldogs to like...
My son a dinosaur. He loves dinosaurs.
Yes, I would love to. So that's what we'll go with the dinosaur instead of the superhero. Okay. But so yeah, that's just one small example. I keep a lot of blank stock so that I'm always ready. And then people order all day on my Etsy page. I wake up to orders. I, print out the orders and I get to work, design stuff.
How much does the bear cost, the Cubby?
They're typically in the 45 to 50 range.
No. How much does it cost you?
The blank? Get? The blanks, because I buy them in bulk, are typically like $13.50.
Oh, wow. And you just put it on the machine and it embroiders?
Yep. So I do something called digitizing the artwork. So I digitize the artwork, make sure the customer loves it, throw it on my machine, runs for about 15 minutes, and I pull it off. I have to clean it up and everything, and then we're good to go.
$13. It costs 15 minutes that you don't actually have to do it. You just put it on there. And the thread probably costs a few cents. So it costs about $14. Let's just round to $14.
Let's just say 15 with boxing, and I include cute little poems, and $15.
Okay, $15. And you sell it for $45.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. That's a good profit margin.
It is.
Especially
Etsy takes out some fees, but that's what I teach my crafters too. Like I'm really, really big on them knowing their pricing and their profit margin. And I always just kind of encourage them, like in this social media frenzy, that, you know, we wanted to grow on social, but we want to be paid, not popular. And I just kind of go through that with them and say, like, look at our pricing calculator. Let's look at every single item that you had to purchase in order to sell this thing. And that's kind of what we look at.
Where's your Etsy page? I don't even know what an Etsy page is.
I don't even know. So I have several. Some I don't share because people be in your business. But one of them is From Craft to Cash. And another one where I sell the Cubbies is Candidly Me, spelled with a K.
Candidly Me.
So it's Etsy.com.
Oh, Etsy.com.
/
What is Etsy? Can somebody explain what Etsy is?
Etsy is a marketplace. So I do have Shopify pages as well. I throw them up all the time, like for different teams or clubs or organizations. But Etsy is a marketplace that if I'm not running ads, if I'm not doing any extra work, people are going to find what they want in this marketplace. So it just gives you massive exposure without having to rely on pushing all of your traffic to your domain.
I can't find it. Okay, I'm on Etsy. Okay, how do I do it?
So you want to, if you go in and you type in into your search browser, etsy.com /candidly, KAN.
Oh, KAN.
DID. LY. ME. Dot. Candidly Me. I missed something.
Candidly Me dot something?
No, it's. You want me to pull it up on my phone for you?
Yeah. And I could be spelling it wrong. I have issues in that way.
It's okay. Yes. But yeah, I mostly, but they just move so fast on Etsy that it's just so easy to do. And I also get to private label for other Etsy sellers where they promote their things like this and I get to make them.
What do you mean?
So like there are other people that sell the same things that I sell that don't have embroidery machines at all. That I make their items and provide fulfillment directly to their customers. And that's kind of what I teach the people in my community to do as well.
And in that situation, do I pay you to do this or you take a percentage of what's sold?
I take a percentage of what's sold. So I offer complete fulfillment. All
right, bet. Me and Kay going to create this little brand and give it to you.
So these are those cuties there.
Okay. Personalized stuffed animals. Okay.
Yeah, and then some of the people that are private label for, they're killing it. Like their sales, because they put a little bit more into marketing and social and all that kind of stuff.
This is good. All right, so what if I wanted to get my own embroidery machine? Tell me the process of how I can start one of these.
So what I've been kind of teaching my crafters and what I go through.
And by the way, it's Candidly Me Co. That's what we're missing. CO.
Both of them will come up. Because if you change your Etsy name, then even the previous name will still work.
Well, I tried it. That joint didn't work.
I think we forgot the shop part because you got to put shop /
Got it.
But yeah, so
fire.
So in my community From Craft to Cash, I have like a paid community where I teach them and coach. And what I kind of do with them is kind of say like, everyone's like, I don't have enough money for an embroidery machine. I don't have enough money to get started with this. But I encourage them just like we do. Like you invest money into your business to be able to grow it. I invest in masterminds. I invest in my education. And I encourage them to do the same thing. So with sewing machines and embroidery machines, any equipment, go on to Amazon. Go get you a credit card that has interest-free financing for a year. Buy the equipment that you need. Leverage Affirm. Leverage Klarna. Leverage all of the options that you have. PayPal. And just buy the thing. If I go onto Amazon right now, I can probably get a sewing machine or an embroidery machine. I can get an embroidery machine for about $100 a month.
There's a lot of things you can do with $500. I mean, you can have a night out with your significant other. You could buy some really expensive shoes. Well, really nice shoes are about double $500. You could buy a course where you can learn something for $500. But I have something better for you to do with the $500. I want to meet with you every single morning for the rest of your life. Well, maybe not the rest of your life, but every morning, Monday through Friday, for the rest of the year. I have information and game that have allowed me to build a successful business, a successful community, and a successful life all the way around. But I want to share that with you. But the only way we can accomplish this is not me selling you a course, not me giving you a one-on-one consultation, because even with that, you'll get the information, but you'll need more. I want to meet with you every single morning. Now, would I meet with someone every morning for $500 for a year? And the answer is yes. Actually, we've been doing this thing since 2017. We have what's called the Morning Meetup. Every single month, we have a theme, whether it's social media, whether it's motivation, whether it's strategy, whatever it is, we have a theme for the month. And every morning in that month, we have a conversation around that topic. And I am giving a wealth of knowledge, not only myself, but a lot of friends, a lot of people that you see on this podcast, they join every single week. So you need a community of people that you can grow with, and you need a coach. I'm your coach. The Morning Meetup is your community. Go to themorningmeetup.com. It's $499, and I will meet you every single morning for an entire year. Give it a shot. Hey, y'all got to see this, bro. So first off, you got the stuffed animal. It's a bunch of stuff. Y'all can't see it like that. But it's a bunch of stuffed animals, right? And they could buy the stuffed animal by itself for $27. Mm-hmm. 27 something, right? So they got lion, flesh tone, lamb, dots, unicorn, blue bear, all this kind of stuff. Dang.
And embarrassingly, I probably have about 20 something that aren't even listed.
Yeah, this is crazy. So to finish, you can get the stuffed animal only for $27.99. You could do the name and the monologue, and altogether it's $43.89. Where are we getting these numbers from? $43.89 and $46.11 for birth, stats, and phrase. Why isn't that like $45 or $40?
I love pricing psychology, but Etsy has this thing where when they change their fees, they just kind of encourage you to click a button and they're going to change your fees based on their change in fees so that your profit is still the same when you walk away.
And then you put that on there, you just add to cart and you just buy it and you ship it out. This seems like a very simple business, and it seems that, do you have to market it and promote it, or just on this Etsy
For those
platform?
In particular, I do not really push them at all outside of Etsy. I'm typically focused on my teams and bulk orders. And I was just kind of showing my crafters the other day, like pushing them to pitch. They don't want to pitch. They're so scared. But I pitched to a group. We got accepted. And literally one of the Shopify pages, it took me 1 day to make the Shopify page. 1 hour to make the Shopify page, made some mock-ups, gave some uniform offerings. And that page did 15K in less than 2 weeks. And I think we're more at like 18 right now. So
this is so dope. What's the split if I create a company or concept, I get the little Cubbies or whatever, I do like a specific Cubby. And let's just say I do all, I don't know, superheroes or all. The Cubbies, can you create it? Like if I wanted like
you can, but they have to be mass. So if you want to create it, we would need to be ordering at least a unit of 100 for us to create something outside of what they already offer.
I got an idea. I want to do, let's just say Black History figures. Like I want to get a little Martin Luther King. And then we could put don't take my idea first off.
I'm not,
you didn't sign an
that's
NDA.
not me.
Let's say we do like Martin Luther King or Barack Obama or Harriet Tubman and these little Cubbies, the little stuffed animals. And then we could put people's names and, whatever on there.
That'd be really cool.
And all I got to do is order 100?
Order 100 and we can get a prototype, but you're responsible for the legwork when it comes to, making sure that you have permissions to replicate public figures.
How do you know if it's Martin Luther King or my uncle that look the same?
Because when you sell it, you're probably going to be putting Martin Luther King plushie or Barack Obama plushie. But yeah. But it also could be really cool.
Because I got an Uncle Martin.
You could, or something that aligns with your brand, or even one of your littles, like getting her own plushie. Like you got Gracie has her own line of all of the things. Doing something for your daughter, let her have her own plushie with her big personality with some cute little, puffs.
Oh, so we can make just little Black children.
Yeah.
That look differently, like one, I don't know, like you said, with the braids, and then a boy, and then like a little fat kid, right? And then like you got these different shapes and sizes. Not fat kid. That's not wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong, right?
No,
Okay, cool.
super cute, cuddly, pinch worthy.
Yeah, like all these different little kids that just have the line.
Absolutely.
We're going to go into business together.
Let's do it. We can talk about it tomorrow too and be here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So how much does it cost to get it custom?
To get them custom made, the pricing is still pretty decent. It's really just going through the manufacturing process with them to make sure, it's going to take a few back and forth for us to agree on what your prototype looks like and how that's going to work for you. So once you get through that barrier, then they'll just start giving you numbers. The warehouses are really, really awesome. So it's just like a negotiation process, making sure that our lawyers send something out because you have to protect what you've made too. Because if not, then they're going to produce it in mass. So they're going to be like, oh, this was a great idea. I'm just going to throw these up on Alibaba and I'm going to go ahead and sell them. So just to protect your intellectual property, just make sure that, all the documentation's in place before you send over, what you're looking for as far as the prototype. They make all the things and then it's kind of yours from there.
Maybe I shouldn't have said it on this podcast.
You had to cut some stuff out. No, but I mean, but even if you go with the idea, I mean, no one is going to see what you're actually building out until it's done.
True.
So it's more so on the manufacturer to not release your prototype or try to make one small tweak. And then it's like, oh, well, I changed her hair color to light brown instead of dark brown. So.
And what has been the biggest profit margin? What product gives the biggest profit margin for you?
That's hard. I would still say polos. I do a ton of polos. I work with a lot of different groups of realtors. I do a ton of boxes for travel agents. So my travel agents, I tell my crafters this all the time, get you some people, make them happy, and they'll keep coming back. So I work with a lot of travel agents to say like, hey, it's January. Here are all of my trips planned for the year. This trip has 50 going to Dubai. This trip has 40 going to Jamaica. This trip has 70 going to, Namibia, wherever they're going. And I'm creating custom boxes for their clients. And then we're curating an experience. And then we ship them to them and they get them about a week or 2 weeks before their trip. So there are things that they can use on a trip, custom items. I think that those boxes are still most profitable because even if you look like, the blanks game and stuff, a Gildan soft style polo, I'm going to sell that, bulk. It'll still be at lowest $25 a unit for the polo, unless it's super, super bulk.
Yeah, you pay $6.
And I pay $6 for it. And to digitize it, if I do it myself, it costs me a little bit of time. And then I'm just running those things like load all for heads up, go ahead and run. And it's very typical that I can do $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in a day.
Dang. Is it? And I hate the thoughts that come in my head and then I'll be wanting to say it, but I don't want to say it as the fear to offend anybody.
Okay.
But it seems like like a single mother type of vibe. Not single mother, but like a mother. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
And that's not offensive. I have 4 kids.
Yeah, because my wife, she was in the kitchen, but she didn't really have no guidance like that. She was making like the cups and all the stuff. So she started it. She really liked it. And it really kind of stopped when the kids came, or when she got, I think when my first daughter came, because like she would just hand me the baby like, yo, this is my peacetime. And she'd go in the garage and she would turn on her music and she'd just like make these cups and come in and be like super proud of it. She didn't do it as a business, but I think it was like a hobby thing. Right. But like for especially like plushies and kids and, all this kind of stuff, I think this is a dope business that somebody can start on the side, especially if they're maybe a stay-at-home mom or something like that. I think it's a dope opportunity.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, most of the people that are in my community from Craft to Cash and the collective, which is my membership program, they're mostly working professionals. So I have a few stay at home, but it's typically, I am my avatar.
Yeah.
I make 6 figures at work. I'm excellent at my job.
As a teacher?
As a teacher. I have a doctorate. So you get paid based on your experience and your years.
For sure.
So yeah, like they are working professionals that really want to be able to make some money on the side, right? They want to be able to have something that they can control a little bit more, because when you work in corporate America, I have surgeon in my group. I have HR professionals, Fortune 500 company professionals, nurses, just teachers, just educators from various backgrounds, people that are in training. So when you have to put on that, that costume, that suit every day and go to work, you want to have something like a creative outlet that you are fully responsible for your business, how you deliver and what you deliver.
Yeah.
And then the freedom, the financial freedom, because my entire life changed when I was able to say, I'm a teacher because I have to be, because that's the career that I chose. And I'm a teacher because I want to be, and this is where my heart is. But I'm still making a lot of money on the side.
Yeah, well, maybe I was looking at it from the lens of my wife was a mother and she was in there crafting, but she ain't got that hustle for entrepreneurship like that. And it ain't about the money. So I guess that does make sense. You need to have some sort of ambition to build this thing out, because it's not just easy as I'm seeing it right now.
And even telling the crafters too, like there are so many trending things going on out there in the craft world. And I'm just like, if you guys want to, you're crafting for hobby, go for it. You go ahead and you make that Valentine's Day card that you spent 45 minutes on. You go ahead and you make that washing machine that, that's what's trending now, these huge washing machines out of cardboard. And it's crazy. But I always tell them, like, if you want to monetize and you want to make money, just figure out your why and take it from there. It was very, very great when I said, I want to have an allowance to, even though my kids don't have to go to daycare. My mom, I retired her in 2012. I want to give her some more time during the day so she can do some of the things that she wants to do. So now we have money for daycare, right? Now we have money that we can, sports are expensive. So, my daughter, she runs competitive track. My son plays on these 7-on-7 football teams and stuff. And literally that's like a $900 check right there, $700 check right there, not counting entry fees or, their equipment or anything. They want to do theater. Theater's expensive. Theater camp was like $500 a kid. I'm like, he's 4. What do you mean?
Goodness.
So just like working to bring in that money that, our goal is to live below our means. So we wanted to do some of those other things that just meant we needed to make a little bit more money.
What percentage men, what percentage women, or is it a good blend of both that you experience coming in?
It is 99% women,
99%.
But I do have a few guys that go hard. And then I have a lot of guys that come on the back and like, hey, I want a clothing brand. And that I'm mostly private label for guys. That's the interesting part.
Got it. Why do you think it's 99% women? So I guess I was accurate in my assessment. Like, it seems like something that a mother, and maybe I'm just coming from the lens of plushies and stuff like that, because there's a bunch of things you could do, right? But why do you think it's predominantly women?
I think stigma. So I think that there's a stigma related to, and I talk about this with my crafting friends all the time and my print friends who don't consider themselves to be crafters. But we're just like, if you are a crafter, or if you are a printer, you still have that creative outlet. You're still designing, you're still printing, you're creating a finished product. And I think that the men don't want to be associated with the cute and fluffy part of it. So instead of like, how often do you see men using a heat press? You know what I mean? So that's why I think my private labelers are people that are coming to me for finished products. I think that for the women, it's acceptable. It's a social norm. It's a social norm that we have a creative outlet, be it crafting, gardening, cooking. Like, how can I show up in this creative space? How can I be extra and over the top as a mom? And those of us who want to monetize, just take it a bit further.
I love this because it's a viable way of making money. So now get to why we're really here. Okay. You're going to start a podcast.
Yes.
You ain't started yet. Tell me why. Well, I guess I can kind of see why, because you work and then you come home and then you're crafting and sending out orders and you're still crafting a lot of stuff by yourself. So I kind of get it, but what's the goal here?
So first off, the podcast course, 10 out of 10. Excellent.
Hey.
We are working now to kind of put my space together in the craft house. And I won't lie to you. Some of it was fear. And I'm like, can I do 10-minute episodes? And everybody's like, girl, no, you need to make some content. It's long form content. So just kind of changing my mindset.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
You 100% can. You don't stretch out content because you need longer content. You make content that's good content. And if it's 10 minutes, I'd rather watch 10 minutes of great information than an hour of trying to stretch it out.
Right.
So 10 minutes is separate, is technically like longer form. Short form is like 60 seconds, 2 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, so I did all the things. When we were at the conference, the podcast conference, I did all the things. Donnie's like, hey, go ahead and y'all start messaging people, asking people. I'm asking people. I was so shocked. Like, people are like, sure. People like, yeah, just message my assistant. I'll come on the show. You're in Beaufort, right? And I'm just like, oh, okay. So it's like, then I have all these guests lined up. And then I think I went back into, a lot of my groups and are like, well, maybe before, when you're getting coached, you just get so many different aspects, right? And it's like, well, before you start bringing in all these experts, maybe you need to let people know and establish your expertise so that they know you as the authority, right? They know what you've done. They know if you made, like, show your life a little bit first. Let them get to know you first. So then I was like, oh, well, then maybe I need to do the first season by myself. And then I'm like, constantly, I'm doing challenges and launching webinars and still running the place, building my team out. That has been a lie. I thought when I hired a team, it was going to mean a lot of extra time for me. And then I learned that having a team means that I spend most of my day doing what I need to do so that they can do what they need to do. So I'm just learning and growing. I'm hoping to pick up the pace and next quarter.
So what do you think the show is going to be about?
The show is going to be about talking about the business lens of crafting and kind of showing them just like step by step, like if I were to build out a business doing this particular thing, this is how I would do it. And I'm going to bring in experts because I do craft a lot of things, but I don't craft everything. I also just I really want to break down some of their mindset surrounding this stuff, because the biggest problem with crafters is that they're going out and they're buying a ton of stuff they don't need. And this is for all of my people that are running out for Joann's closing and Party City's closing right now, buying all this stuff that they're going to hoard forever and still not make any money. They're going to buy the things and then they're going to try to figure out what to do with them. And then the next trend starts. So really teaching them that we can hop onto trends, we can enjoy trends, we can enjoy newsjacking, but where's your foundation? Let's learn how to, press t-shirts so that we can offer them for specific events like family reunions and sports teams and, memorial holidays and wedding season. Let's look at statistically in the US, where do we spend the most money and how can you provide a creative outlet and service through that? And then once you establish a clientele, you got a little bit of free time. Sure, go ahead and hop on some of those trends. But really just kind of teaching them through my podcast and through my show how I was able to build my sustainable business, my failures along the way, and kind of just go on the journey with me.
Got it. Do you have the name for it already?
Well, right now it was just from Craft to Cash podcast, but I'm still exploring.
I like it. I mean, and I like the fact that it leads into an offer. It's like, okay, it's valuable information, but if people want to take the next step, then they'll come work with you in terms of like the Craft to Cash, and it leads into specifically to your community or your selling or, all that.
Yes.
So I do like it. Do we have the format of the show?
No.
Okay. Let's work on it.
Okay.
What do you think? Where are we going to do it at? In your studio?
At the Craft House.
At the Craft House. What is the scene?
So I have like a wall where there's a bunch of crafty stuff behind it. And then I'm looking for, don't judge me, I'm looking for the perfect chairs. I've been looking literally for the last 6 months.
Looking for the perfect chairs. I love it.
So yeah.
Here's my recommendation. I think we should, obviously we're going to come up with a concept where, you're talking about the thing, but content is evolving. Podcasting is evolving in many different ways. And I think if you're at the Craft House, it doesn't have to be a specific sit down area that you do it. It could be you showing different aspects of the crafting. So I don't want us to think of it like a stationary show, like Oprah has the same set.
Right.
You can go, it could be a setup where you put a chair and a mic in front of the plushies and you're talking about the plushies and not plushies, Cubbies? What's it called? Cubbies. You're talking about the Cubbies and kind of the pricing behind it and how you pick the ones that you pick. Say, okay, so I got the Superman one because a lot of kids are into Superman and this is the sales of this one. This one that I grabbed, this one isn't doing as well. There's not that many people that's doing the dinosaur. So my next order, I'll probably go lighter with it, or I'll still order, but order a few or something like, so we're talking about that topic. So if we look at it from a topic perspective, not just the show itself, we're adding value that's going to lead people into saying, I want more information about that.
I love it.
So it could be like, you see how she has the Osmo, was just holding it. Audio is going to be, you still have to optimize for audio, and you have to take into consideration that the people that are listening in the podcast, they can't see it.
Right.
So you can't do too much like showing without explanation. You got to get good at explaining it.
Right.
Right. So you might see let's see this. This is the Cubby. It's a unicorn and it has a white belly. So the white belly, it has Sarai stitched on it, but the white belly is big enough so that we have enough space to put what we want. And we're going to need this many dimensions on however many dimensions. But I'm still talking in a way I'm painting a picture for the listener. But I think this would be such an incredible business move for you starting the podcast, because now you're really giving people the game, and the crafters that are crafting currently will be listening while they're crafting.
Right.
Instead of just music, they're being inspired and motivated and realize, yo, that's a good idea. I need to rock with that person.
Yes, I love that, because from Craft to Cash, I basically focus on pillars, and those pillars are mindset, make, market, and monetize. So kind of walking them, through the life cycle of the product, from the making point to the marketing point to the monetizing point. And really just locking in on, yes, social media is important. This is what we need to do. We're not worried about likes and follows. We're going to focus on creating quality content and the rest will come. But then also, how am I pitching in the back end? How am I doing these things? So I definitely think that there's enough value there that I could probably move around, because the craft house has different rooms and then different rooms are set up for different things.
Dope.
So
I love it. When we going to launch?
What's this? Next month.
Okay.
Give me into, I think
good, man, because as we're recording this, y'all, it is February 27th, which means we're starting in the next 30 days. That's good. Congratulations.
So I'm going to say, because I've done the groundwork.
March what?
I'm going to say have my first one up March 31st. And the reason for that is some of my guests will be coming in the previous weekend for a different event.
Okay, cool. So March 31st, we're going to have this show for the crafters. This is incredible. One, I'm inspired by your story. The fact that you're holding down a job, holding down a husband. You got kids?
4. My baby girl's 1. So 1-year-old, 4-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old.
And I'm giving you grace on not launching this podcast, because you got a lot going on. And the fact that you can do it means anybody can.
Yes.
There's a lot. Working a job with a husband and 4 kids and running a business
and real estate. Right before I came here, we had to do a mediation. So
golly, and not only the crafting business, but running a community and the craft house, and trying to find time to eat is kind of, I don't know how you eat. I don't know how you have time for you, like yourself. So I commend you and congratulations. You're an inspiration. You really are.
Well, when you love what you do, it's just the option.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm so excited for you.
Thanks.
And where you're going. So let everybody know how they can connect with you and how they can kind of be a part of this program that you're building.
So they can find me on Instagram at From Craft to Cash. I'm definitely looking for some more guests for the podcast and just sharing those experiences. And anybody can just reach out to me on Instagram.
From cash to cash, from craft to cash, everywhere, y'all. Listen, man, make sure y'all are rocking with her, because she is going places, and she's already at places. She's at a high level of success right now. But the fact that she's about to revolutionize this crafting industry is so exciting. And for all those people out there that are looking for another stream of income, I think this is a really, really good, viable option. How much do you think it is to get started? Maybe like somebody just have an idea.
You can get started for nothing. You literally, because that's what I'm teaching them too. I really want to say like $100 if you want to start with equipment, because you can go get a heat press for $16 a month on Amazon, right? You finance it, order you some DTFs and take it from there.
What's DTF?
Direct to film prints. So they're like the transfers. So kind of like this. I just took a bunch of transfers today and pressed them onto a shirt. So they can get started that way. But I would start, and I tell my crafters, you would get so lost and so broke in this industry if you're trying to keep up with all the equipment and things everyone else has. So even within my business, I have to make the money first before I can kind of spend and buy bulk equipment, right? Yeah. So they can start for nothing. Go ahead and take some pre-orders, sell some shirts. Mother's Day is coming up. Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. Easter is coming up. You have so many things coming up. Do some pre-sales for some shirts. Get you a heat press, $16 once you've made a little bit of money, and then go ahead, order some DTF prints and start pressing.
I love it. Making it so simple, man. Make sure y'all rock with Kylea, okay? Make sure you follow on all social platforms. And if this was valuable for you, send her a DM on Instagram and just tell her you appreciate it. Tell her thank you. If she inspired you or has some questions, send her a DM, okay? And also do yourself a favor, go get you some social proof, meaning go build something, build it really, really big, but come back to your community and teach them how you did it like Kylea is doing. It's the only way our community grows, all right? We out here. Peace. You just watched this whole episode. If you like this episode, watch this one right here. Click right here. You're going to like this one if you like the one you just watched. Check it out.